we're gonna be seeing both sides.
It hasn't always been this way. I remember brighter days before the dark ones came, stole my mind, wrapped my soul in shame. Now I live among the dead, fighting voices in my head, hoping someone hears me crying in the night, carries me away, set me free. Morning breaks another day, finds me crying in the rain, all alone with my demons I am. Who is this man that comes my way? The dark ones shrink, they scream his name. Is this the one they say will set the captive free? Jesus, rescue me, set me free. The
Tell me y'all heard that. Somebody. Get this fixed up. Get that fixed up. Oh, Can people hear us? Oh. All right. I had a little red stand thing I was using to keep the thing balanced. I think, no, I'm gonna find something else. But it's gonna go down.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Give us a second. We took some things out of here that we needed, and so I'm gonna have to find something. See if everybody can hear us. I don't know.
Can y'all hear us? Look at the comments. Craven Must is here. Scott's here. Linda's here. Tennessee. Hey, y'all. Hey, everyone. Did I say Scott? Yeah, Scott. Okay. Everybody's just checking in, saying hi.
Okay. Test 1, 2. Could everybody hear us? I hope. And could y'all hear us through the whole thing? Audio video. Okay, good. Tennessee. I hope everybody kind of heard the opening song. If people can let us know if you heard that opening song, it is important and it is pertaining to what we're doing tonight. So if you have heard, did you hear the song?
Audio and video looks good. Good, good, good.
Did you hear the song? Did you hear the song?
The song is Casting Crowns, singing
Casting
Set
Crowns.
Me Free.
So we'll give you just a couple more seconds because we want you to hear the song also because it is important to what we're doing tonight. And if you didn't hear the song, because I didn't have the microphone on, but I thought maybe we could hear through this, but if not, then
Yes.
yes. Okay. Okay. Great. We're glad for that. Oh, I keep forgetting that we have a new kind of. It's not a new setup. It's just that we have the phone, the Bigfoot phone that we're using. So, and we got a microphone that we're using that we use for observations and not observations for sound. So now we don't. Actually, I don't have to talk that loud. We got anything to drink? I thought we got this.
Oh,
We were in a rush, in a hurry, and
we were talking to our guest up until just not too long ago.
our guest and our actually both guests.
Right.
Let me see. Let me do something real fast. Okay, we got another window open. We're going to have our guest tonight. It's very interesting on, well, not interesting. It's factual. It's all truth, and that's all we share on here. But we were in a rush, kind of a hurry, so we're tomorrow or the next time we get together, this may be set up a little bit different because we're going to try to use this laptop that some trackers built for us to use on the road. We didn't have one. They noticed, and they told us that we could use a laptop, and at that certain situation, we were
The plug-in for this is where?
What plug-in are you
For this one here?
Oh, it's charged. It's right here, but it's okay.
Okay.
Well, anyway, our friends, our trackers, Tennessee, they built a laptop for us. So we're going to try to use that on the next stream. And so now that we're kind of all ready, and thank you for bearing with us. I still have to remember that I don't have to yell like we used to talk with you. So
Tennessee says the song was a little quiet. Do you want to play it one more
okay,
time?
we're gonna play that song one more time for everybody.
When you hear the story of our guest, you'll understand.
Yes, and it's a very important.
And we want our guest to. We want to be sure our guest also hears the song.
Yes. And this is. We'll be right back.
It hasn't always been this way. I remember brighter days before the dark ones came, stole my mind, wrapped my soul in chains. Now I live among the dead, fighting voices in my head, hoping someone hears me crying in the night, carries me away, set me free. Finds me crying in the rain, all alone with my demons I am. Who is this man that comes my way? The dark one shrink, will scream his name. Is this the one they say will set the captive free?
Yeah.
Jesus, rescue me, set me free.
Okay. Now, can you hear us like an echo or can you hear us clear? If somebody can help us with that because these are supposed to be on, but if it wasn't picking up that sound, this may just be picking up with the phone and not the microphones. So,
There's a little delay time from when you respond to when we can see it. Clear, 3 exclamation points.
oh, okay. Well,
Good. We're going to go ahead and open tonight in prayer first. Father, thank you for your goodness and protection. We ask you to fill this place with the Holy Spirit and bind the eyes, ears, mouths, and plans of the enemy. Destroy any wicked plans and wicked unclean spirits. Watch over us, our viewers, our guests, and our broadcast. Keep our full armor on and give us a discernment. We love you and we pray these things in the name and authority of Jesus.
Yeah, we're going to do the announcements and go over what we're going to be talking about tonight. But we also, before we do get started, we also want to, I keep forgetting I can back up. But we also want to put this out there also, that nothing comes into our home, nothing comes into your home. These things that we're going to be talking about, that they're to leave out of existence. We have a special guest tonight. Well, everything that we do, it's all bits and pieces. These things that we talk about, there's truth in everything that we're saying. The whole thing is truth. So we're going to go ahead and start with the announcements, and then we'll get to like a preview, and then we'll have our guest on. We're not going to be calling the trackers tonight. We did check-ins with them. With a few of those, there are a few more. We've just been real busy today. A lot of good things happen as far as, fixing things around the house and things, but we still spent time with our guest and some other people who we should see tonight here.
We have 3 Facebook pages: Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, Antlers and Surrounding Areas; Choctaw Missing Woman, WOMBMAN, and Son Center and Database, and then the TheBFEJerryWilliams Facebook page. And then there's also a LeadTrackerE page on YouTube, where we will mirror many of these videos and share videos between the 2 channels. So we welcome y'all to join those.
The Bigfoot documentary, $101 is Cashapp. Well, let's see it on the page here. But it's also in the description. I can't tell you how crucial this DVD is for you to learn from, to learn things that you haven't learned and that no one else is teaching. The DVD is very important in every interview, every guest, every live stream that we do does pertain to that DVD. There's clips in it that we share also when we get a chance, but it has all the information you need to be above the best researcher. There's things in it that the researchers don't know, and we're going to be talking a lot of things that our guest tonight is going to speak about. A lot of those things are in the Bigfoot documentary, in that DVD. It is helpful. It saves lives. It already has saved lives. Search and rescue, people like that, they use it in their training and in the field, as we do. And that's how we train also. If you ever seen us train or help in another area, you would know that. If you've seen that documentary, you would know that these are the things we're looking for. This is what we're taking out. And these are why we're doing certain things. It is to deter and get Bigfoots away from you and your family. And that the information for that through the PayPal and the Cash App also is in the description.
Joe and Deanne, we have sent out your DVDs. We sent those out yesterday, and just let us know when you get them. Remote assessments, we already have some people that are planning to send us some things, but if you would like to take video of your area that you have concern about in your neighborhood, community, your property, we don't want any identifying information. We just want to look at the tree lines. If you think there may be structures, or you get an eked out feeling out there in the yard in certain areas, or you just want to have us check it out, send us a video and we will look through it and quite possibly point out some things that you may not have noticed.
And that's really for the people who don't have the Bigfoot documentary. If you have the Bigfoot documentary, you know what to look for. You know exactly where to go to find these things if they're in your area, where to look for and what to do and how to deter. But also, we're going to have another person, a good friend, who's going to join us also at the end of the broadcast. So make sure you're here for that also. Everything is important, everything that we're doing. And also with the remote assessments, that's we just, if you don't know what to look for, you can send it to us. We'll point some things out and tell you the level as far as in trouble or how far and what we need to do to deter these Bigfoots from your area.
Our verse for tonight is, and there's a neat story about this for our guest Cherie. Earlier today, we were preparing for the show, and an index card dropped out with a verse written on it that I don't even remember writing. I don't know when I wrote it. It's my handwriting, but it's Colossians 2. I encourage y'all to read that chapter when you get a chance. But Colossians 2:10 in particular is, and in Christ you have been brought to fullness. He is the head over every power and authority. That's the NIV translation, but that's our verse for tonight. And then also, after hearing tonight's testimony, y'all will likely want to go read that whole chapter too and see how it applies.
Everything's important that we do, and also we want to stress also, we do have new viewers, that this is not an open forum. It's not an open channel for like discussions and conversations and things like that in the chat. We give lessons, or we want to share things with you, or firsthand experiences. A lot of this information that's coming to you tonight, our guest was a viewer of Wednesday night's live stream, and everything hit home. And we've been talking for a while, and we finally had a conversation. We finally was able to set this up, and so our guest will be on tonight. So this is a tracking channel, but all this information, spirituality, the spiritual warriors, the tracking, everything, you have to know everything. People have first-hand experiences that a lot of our trackers don't have. And tonight is some of that first-hand experience that they're going to share with us. And also, you can ask questions at the end of the stream, jot them down and things like that, so that when we get to the ending part, our guest said that they would answer a couple of questions as long as they were legitimate questions. So we'll get to that in just a minute, but remember, this is a tracking channel. It's not an open forum. It's not an open conversation or a chit chat. We do like it when everyone says hi to each other because it is a family atmosphere, but it is for our trackers. And we got a lot of great viewers, a lot of people who's been with us for a long time. And we were happy to share this information with you. And things happen sometimes. I mean, like for me, I always get to the point where I just wanted it to be the trackers because we was getting some people trying to interfere with what we were doing. And I almost came to the point where I was like, I just want it to be just the trackers and just the people who really need this information. And TheBFEJerryWilliams also kind of backed me up a second and said, you know, there's people who just need the information, or there's people who don't even know anything about this and this information. So we talked about that, and that we are going to continue to share this information openly. But I have decided that if we do get, you know, people who interfere, that we're just going to block those people. But I would I would suggest that you don't interfere. Just listen to what we have to say and what we have to share, and the people and the firsthand experiences. Learn that information, and maybe at the end of the year you can, you know, come back and we'll have a big brawl discussion. But a lot of people here, they're sharing firsthand experiences and things that we all need to know, and things a lot of people has never heard of before. So just if you do want to cause a disturbance, just hold it, listen to what we got to say for the whole, you know, time, then come back, and I'm sure you'd rather ask a question than start a fight at the end.
Sorry. A couple of terms that we'll talk about tonight, that our guests will talk about, that some of y'all may know, some of you may not. So let's just say them. Necromancy is communicating with the dead or with the spirit world, with demons. And astral travel, astral projection, out of body travel. That's just when your spirit body separates from your physical body. It's still connected by a silver cord. But we'll talk about those things tonight. And Thelema was the practice of magic that was developed by Aleister Crowley. So those are some terms. Should I do her message yet?
And also to try to make sure this flows even and good, and because there is a message with this, and we also we got our prayer warriors with this to also help out. But we're also needing a couple monitors, because we're going to check this chat every now and then, but we would rather not. We'd rather just continue with what we're doing and not have any hiccups, I guess you would say.
We just want great respect for the guests.
And yes, and to have great respect for the guests. So if we can have some monitors, so especially some of our regular viewers and some of our trackers are here in the room, if you can keep up with that for us, so we can just focus on what we're doing, and we'll get to that message in just a minute.
And we would say your young children shouldn't be here for tonight's.
Yeah,
tonight's
this
show.
is an adult conversation.
Yeah.
They do need to know these things,
but
we'll leave that to you, because there's information that you may not have heard yourself.
Okay. This message. Okay, this is a message we received after our guest tonight watched the show last night. We received this. In part, this is her message. What you talked about Wednesday night was astounding to me. From 2016 to 2019, I practiced Thelema, the religion started by Aleister Crowley. I was very experienced in astral projection and necromancy. What the demons taught me was daunting, and if I had continued that, I would have been a very powerful witch. Also, astral projectionists from San Francisco worked with me in the spiritual realm. there's a lot more to discuss about this and how it relates to my watcher who has been with me since I was little. So this is Cherie, who you've known for many, many years.
Mhm.
And we're about to give her a call. We talked to her earlier today, and we want you guys to listen to her story.
Okay.
She.
Cherie, are you in the room? It kind of sounds like a. We're not communicating with anything.
We're not having a seance.
We're not having a seance. We're not doing that. We're asking if our friend is in here to talk with us. A real person that we know. If not, I think we will use the phone. Let's call her on the phone and see if she has got those links.
Do you have that number? We talked to her a little while ago, but it was through regular telephone.
I think all she has to do is click the link, and but we'll see.
Hello.
Hi, Cherie.
Hi. How are you?
Very good.
Hey, was you able to click that link?
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if I was doing it right.
Okay. Can you try to click it again?
Okay.
Because it may just only work when we're on air.
All right. Let me.
And we have time, no rush.
All right. Let's see. The way it had looked like when I opened it, it looked like I had to be signing into something. But it's taking a little bit to download right now.
Can the viewers hear Cherie clearly? You also have to give access, Cherie.
Okay.
But if not, we'll just do it through regular telephone.
Okay.
If we don't get it straightened out right away.
All right.
We're having some coffee, so no rush.
All right. It's loading, but
Were you able to hear the song, Cherie?
no.
Oh, okay. When you get a chance, or we'll send you the link. It's Cash and Crown Set Me Free. Do you know that one?
No, I don't.
That's a personal favorite of my own. Some of the things we have in common. When I was set free, that song was a big part of it.
Well,
And
I look forward to listening to it.
And we'll play it. We'll play it at the end also.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. It says I have to install the Chrome browser.
Yes.
But I don't have it.
Okay,
So I
well,
think,
we can go with this right here.
okay.
Let's put it back on comments, make sure everybody can hear. Very good.
Okay, y'all can hear. They can hear. Great. We're good to go there, Sheree.
Okay, great.
Okay, so we introduced you with that message that you sent,
Okay.
and so we know this pertains to Bigfoots, and we'll get to the Bigfoot part, but let's go ahead and back up to everything.
Okay. Get more into the spirituality of things.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let me see which place do you want me to start?
Earlier, you started at about 12.
Yeah.
But then you backtracked too. So there was some important stuff back there. I would say what would be a life-defining moment in this area? Could we start there?
The most life-defining moment was when I was playing in the garden. I was little. I can't remember the age. I would say about around maybe 4 or 5, maybe. And our mom had what I called the garden. It was under a pine tree. She had planted a whole bunch of rose bushes. They were the wild roses. They had the really strong fragrance. And they had planted some jonquils for me because my birthday's in March. And there was moss underneath, so I would go and play, and sometimes I would fall asleep under the tree. And that's what happened to me. So when I woke up from being asleep, I noticed a bright light, and around behind the rose bush. And I looked up, and there was an angel standing there behind the rose bush. And his clothes were really brilliant white. And there was a white, I can't explain it like the sun. It was beyond a brightness that the sun can put off. And I don't remember anything that he told me, but I know he told me some stuff. And I had seen that there's a really pretty, almost perfect rose right by him, and I couldn't reach it. And I was wanting it really bad, and Mama told me not to, step under the bushes or step into the rose bush because snakes will be under there. So he picked that flower and he gave it to me. And, I was happy and stuff. So I went to the house and wet some tissue and wrapped it around the rose where it was, broken off, and gave it to my mom. And, I didn't say anything about, Angel being out there. It didn't dawn on me. And so that was my first really defining spiritual moment. And I, as far as being a Christian, not long after that, probably several years after that, I was the only one that would go to church. While my parents and my siblings would be home sleeping, I would be going to church with the neighbor. And I did that for a long time. And then my family had met Bertram. This was back in the early 70s, before he started his preaching and his ministry. And he was looking for a place to preach. And so my dad opened the home up to him. And he started preaching in the living room. And there was a couple that was there, plus my grandparents and plus my family. So we had that honor of getting to know him that way. It was a blessing. He was a really good Christian man, but later on, some things had happened that I really don't know how to explain, or if it would be something that would be of interest.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right. You want me to go into further with Bertram?
Yeah, and for the viewers, Bertram was a pastor, an Indian pastor, back when we were growing up, and Cherie is a long-time friend. So we all went to the same areas, played in the same areas. And Bertram was a pastor at that time, a well-known pastor with the community. But everything, as everything goes, everything's not as it seems. But there are some some information that we do need, because this pertains to spirituality, and also that Indian people also are raised a little different with ceremonies or with the information that our parents and grandparents gave us about Bigfoots and spirits and things like that. So we just want to kind of bring the people up to who Bertram was. And this is all around the Antlers area, just like the documentary, The Antlers and surrounding areas. And we know exactly where our guest lived and where this all took place, up to where we are now. So I just wanted to let them know real fast, Sherry, if we can continue.
Okay. Yeah. Bertram was a very strong influence in my Christianity. But also I had spiritual experiences outside of Christianity. There was a show called ISIS back in the 70s that I used to watch. And, like everybody, they might, fantasize about, playing with somebody, or, I'm this superhero, or I want to be this person. But my imagination at that point was really strong. Not only was I seeing in my imagination, I was seeing her in my mind's eye. I would bring ISIS to me through my mind's eye, and she would tell me things. She didn't look like the actress on the show at all. She was very beautiful, and her clothing was immaculate, and her jewelry was just. Ever since then, I've always had this draw to Egyptian jewelry. But more importantly to her, not just pantheon of the Egyptian gods and the Egypt and pyramids and stuff like that, but to her and her family. And her family, I'm meeting Osiris and her son Horus. So that was pretty close to my experience with the angel. And so those two were always battling each other within me. I was a Christian. I believed in Christ, but I also believed in Isis and Osiris. So later on, when I was a teen, I started practicing magic. I didn't know anything, but things were coming to me that I was not taught by anybody. And, I started worshiping Mother Goddess of the Moon and the Horned One, the sun. And I would talk to the moon at night when it was full, and I would see things outside my window when I was talking to the moon. I was looking at. I would also see orbs, around the area of my father's workshop. They were blue in color. I can't really describe the size because at night I couldn't tell if it was up close or if it was next to the shop. But they were blue, kind of like a dark neon blue, and then a lighter light blue, and they were both kind of like neon color type orbs.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hear roosters crow in the middle of the night when I was talking to the moon. And it was like, is it morning? And I look at my clock and it was like, midnight. My mama, she would say that sometimes she hears a woman scream up on top of the hill. And she would warn me and my brother that would go behind the house and play that, be careful because the mountain lion's back there. So we knew not to go back there that day because she had heard it screaming.
Was this the area that had the swamp behind it too? Same place?
No, that was my mama's home where she grew up. She grew up at the Push County and Choctaw County line.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a swamp behind the house where she grew up. And it was one of those old, Choctaw homes that was, bare wood and shingle as, the roofing shingles as the siding. It was,
right.
The real bare bones Choctaw houses.
Right.
And there was a big swamp in the back. We were forbidden to go behind the house. We could go to the outhouse, but not beyond that. But Mama told me that there was Bigfoot back there, orbs, and little people. And Grandma would tell us not to go back there, and if we heard anything in the woods, to come home. Because we could play in the front part of the house's woods between our grandpa's place and my great uncle's house. But when she was growing up, her and her siblings would sleep outside on mattresses because it was really hot. The older ones would, I guess, be the ones on guard because they would, have to wake the little ones up and take them into the house, when Bigfoot came around.
And that the name y'all used for it back then too? A lot of people used to say boogers. Or...
well, I've always known it as Bigfoot.
Okay.
That's, if Grandma said it in Choctaw, because she would say stuff in Choctaw to Mama that, so for the little ones not to understand. So if she said that, I wouldn't know the Choctaw word for it. But Grandpa, he told me that Bigfoot could talk Choctaw. And I thought that was, pretty awesome. At that time, I thought, cool. But I didn't know too many Choctaw words. When I was small, I had an imaginary friend, and we had our own language. It was a mixture of Choctaw and French, from what I could remember. And his name was Tony. And he would play with me and in my bedroom and out in the back whenever we would go up the hill. I would go by myself most of the time. And Tony would be there and we'd be talking and playing and stuff. And I had a younger brother. And we would go both up the hill and go play in the woods. The area that we played at a lot had short grass, and it had a lot of pine trees in that area. And we would divide up the pine trees and say, well, this is my home, this is your home. And, we'd set up the landscape, this is my bedroom and bathroom, and kitchen and stuff. And, we'd play like that out there. Well, one day, me and my brother, we went up there to play, and over the doorway, or what I had designated always as my front door, was an arch. I thought, hey, cool, and innocent. I thought that happened during the storm, and thinking, and so me and my brother made an arch over his front door, and we used the pine limbs, because the tree limbs, because they were really flimsy.
Mm-hmm.
We could get to them easy.
Mm-hmm.
So we made him an arch. We were forever back there playing and stuff, and I really missed being out there, because I really felt like that was my safe place, because a lot of bad stuff was going on with me at home. And so whenever I would be by myself playing there, acorns would be tossed at my feet, or fall at my feet, however you want to, put it. And I would pick them up, thinking, I'm cool, and I'd pick them up and put them in my pocket. And when I would get a good handful, after saving them, I would draw faces on them and paint their hats, and take them in the back and get sticks and make bodies for them, like stick people.
Mm-hmm.
And I would play with them back there. And I showed Mama, and I told her, these been falling on me, rolling at my feet, and whatever had happened. And she said that it was the squirrels that were throwing them at me, because they were upset because I was in there under their tree. So when they were tossed there, it's like, that's how I accepted it. That the squirrels, were
Right.
trying to shoo me off. That I never felt scared. I felt safe. I felt free. I felt happy back there in the woods. And so nothing bad ever happened. I know that looking back, I know that there was a lot of crunches, and I thought, well, maybe it's my dog. My dog would follow me sometimes, but it wouldn't be her. And then I thought, maybe it's a bird, or sticks dropping in the forest, or, putting excuses off.
Right.
And, but skunks were bad, as I thought they were skunks. I never saw one. I never saw a skunk ever. And when I would get that whiff, I, would run home, because I didn't want to get sprayed by skunk. And the skunk smell would come to my bedroom window at night, and it would get so nauseously strong that I would have to close my window,
Mm-hmm.
and because it was so bad.
Now, did this start before your cycle at that age started, or is that about the time it started coming to your window?
It had always came to my window.
Okay.
There was never a time that I can remember not feeling watched.
Uh-huh.
So I guess that's why I was so accepting of it. You know, it was just a part of my life. It was just there. It was a normal feeling.
But it was when you, did you say that it was when you were about that age of puberty that you started getting scared, or the tone changed?
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah. When I started my monthlies, and it would come to my window, I could feel just this feeling that was not right. It was it's almost like a bristle standing up, being at attention, knowing that there's something there, and wanting to be real still,
a threatening feeling.
Right. And the hairs on the back of my neck would stand up, my elbows would contract, and my arms would go, you know, up to my chest in a protection mode. And it was hard for me to relax my arms because, you know, that fear was there. So I when that first started, I told my mom, and she said that, you know, that was Bigfoot. I was responding to his pheromones. And, you know, she told me that when I'm on my period that, you know, for me to close my bedroom window and close my curtains real tight. So that's what I did. I couldn't have my windows open during that time of month.
You had a wise mom.
Yeah. You know, that was just part of being, you know, her kid. I don't remember her talking to Ruby, or I'm sorry, my sister or my brother, like that. I was the only one that I would, you know, kind of tell things to my little brother, you know, and he was accepting of it too. No questions asked, and, you know, happy with the answer that, you know, they were giving me, and grandma, you know, and grandpa, they never degraded the fact that there were these things around. They were accepting of it. And it was just a part of life, having to live with them.
So the next significant thing to happen then after, so this was about 13? Are we up to about 13, 14 years old? Okay. Can you tell us the, you know, what's the next thing you'd like to talk about?
Well, the thing I want to stress to everybody is that even though Bigfoot is a real entity, it's not an animal. It's an entity. It's a being. It's not an animal. And they will help you if you want to go into the dark arts. They will teach you. But do not go searching for them, because they will kill you. It's bad enough that, you know, they were teaching me witchcraft. And it's bad enough that they followed me into adulthood. But once I got to that point of where I was accepting and wanting and desiring to go down the left-hand path, which is the occult, that they were more than willing to help.
Oh, certainly. And will pretend to be your friend.
Oh, yeah.
In the same way as a groomer. We had talked about that earlier.
Right. And more than your friend. They want to.
Right. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Fulfill all the desires and needs is the ploy, the lie.
Oh yeah. So, just remember that, they can hear your mind. They can penetrate into the deepest of your conscience, and you cannot lie to these things. They know when you're trying to stop and lie to them. They know, and they will torture you mentally if you lie to them. And they'll talk to you, tell you nice kind things, well, this is, and they'll give you, they used to help me with my vocabulary when I was little. They would teach me words that weren't even words. But once you put break the word down, it makes sense. They would, when you look for the root of the word, and put it together with another word, it makes sense to put them together where they wouldn't be in the dictionary. Mm-hmm. And I was a really avid reader, and my imagination helped me, remember things and picture things that happened in the book. And that in turn helped me to conjure and work my witchcraft. And crystals were a part of my life. My dad used to like to go quartz crystal hunting. And we would go to these quartz mines. And then up towards Bertram's camp is a open field that the road goes through. And in the evening, when your lights hit it just right, it looks like diamonds on the road with all the quartz pieces. So we would go there. So that too was also in my life. It was easy. Things were easy for me to get together to do my rituals that the Bigfoots were teaching me.
Right. We talk a lot on the show about how the Bigfoot and the negative entities will look for the most isolated people, the ones that are lonely or abused or just don't quite fit in. They're a little different. They will look for those people, and it sounds like exactly what happened with you.
Yeah. I always felt kind of odd. But, I was in. It's weird because even up until several years ago, when I would walk into a room, certain people's heads would turn and look at me. And when they see me, they go back to their business. And that always happened to me. And I thought, well, am I ugly? Am I odd? Why would people look at me like that and then go back? And that was something that I thought was odd. But when I was little, I have no idea when it started, but I'm a survivor of incest, and that was something that was very traumatizing to me, and it continued for years. And on top of that, I would get regular switchings or belt used on me, and it had gotten so bad that I would have bleeding whelps up and down my legs and back. And when I would get dressed the next day, it would hurt to put my clothes on and to sit down, and I'd have to sit, in those chairs at school all day. And I would cry, of course. And after really bad strappings, I would go to my room and cry and say, well, nobody loved me. Nobody loved me. And I never received any comfort from my mom. got any hugs. She never said, I loved you, until the day of we buried my father. And I was walking out of the living room before bed, and I turned to her and I told her, I said, I love you, Mom. And she said, I love you too. And I was 14 before I heard those words from her.
Wow.
And, being alone, in that sense, and finally having her validation, felt good.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So when did the Lima studies start?
Oh goodness. That before the Thelema.
Cherie.
Yeah.
Let me just let the viewers know one quick thing.
Okay.
For the viewers, when she's talking about when she was younger, she's talking about, and this is also in Bigfoot documentary. She's talking about the Push County Road, which is other side of Antlers heading towards Atoka. That is a hot spot of what she is talking about of Bigfoot activity and other cryptid beings. If you go to another Bigfoot channel called Bigfoot Odyssey, I believe it's episode number 88. It's Mark Copeland. He lived in this same area that Cherie is talking about. He did have a lot of Bigfoot activity, and if you look at that Bigfoot Odyssey episode 88, I believe that he moved. He couldn't get people to believe him. And Cherie is different because she had Indian parents and grandparents, so it's a little different for us because when our parents talk about things like that, we understand it. We know exactly, okay, you're talking about Bigfoots, you're talking about spirits, you're talking about ghosts, orbs, little people. But this road, this area is a hot spot, and she grew up in this area. Even the place where she moved in this other place where she moved to is also another place in Antlers, as where we're from, as the documentary is all about, I guess you would say. But she was living in a hot spot. She's in a different town now. We still have them here, and I just wanted to catch them up because the area you're talking to. There's already been a documentary that came up about 2 or 3 years, Cherie, and it talks exactly about where you were living at that time. And the documentary that we're going to be sending you that we did, also we did that on the left side, I guess you would say, or the south side of the highway.
Yeah.
Over by the parishes.
That's my family. That's
yeah.
my grandpa.
Yeah, and you'll see that we tracked in that area, and then we brought all that information to them, and we did get some tracks and everything, and we also caught a Bigfoot on film, and we also got some translucent Bigfoots on film there.
Uh-huh.
So
well, yeah. I have a cousin that moved into Grandpa's house, and I also have second cousins that, well, they'd be my first, that live further back. I don't know if they were the ones that you had talked to. But that we just go on, say, oh, it's Bigfoot, and we just get in the house and go on.
Yeah, we have another tracker. His name is he goes by Tracker M, and he came over one time to do some tracking with us, and he we were sitting there in the morning, and he was kind of anxious, saying, you know, are we going to go track it? Because this is the same spot where documentaries were done, where you had all this activity. And so he was saying, and so are we going? I was like, yeah, they're there. We'll find them. They're there, you know.
And they can tell you what you're wearing before you even get out in the woods.
Sure can. And we actually, you know, we got some documentary there. I mean, documentation of and I think here at the end we'll show that video footage again of that Bigfoot in that tree that we got also.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and it is a hot spot. Documentaries have been done there, so everything you're saying is all the truth. And I mean, we know it anyway, but we just wanted the viewer to know that this is a place, you know, that we know about.
Yeah. You know, I don't remember ever seeing one visually, eye to eye. You know, no visual confirmation.
Yeah, but we know they were close to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and you can smell them.
Huh?
You can smell them. The one that more recently has found me over here where I live now smells so bad. It smells like burning feces. It is so bad. And I can't take it sometimes.
That's coming to your house?
Yeah, because I live on the outskirts of this town. And my son, he goes and walks. I used to a lot with his friends at night, go walking around town and stuff like that. And they would see, you know, UFOs. And they had watched one land probably about 3 blocks west of this house. And it was behind a, Freemason lodge. And lo and behold, you know, that if you know anything about Freemasons, you know, that would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, they see weird things at night, and I hear Opa a lot, too.
You hear what?
Opa?
You hear the word?
No, it's a very, very old owl. And when it comes to your window or in a tree near your house, and it hoops, you know, or hoops, it's a warning that somebody's going to die. But you know, I've never heard a screech owl or a barn owl or anything like that around. Just open.
Have you laid eyes on it?
No.
You just
no,
hear
I've
it.
never done it. Okay. But I haven't been outside my house in such a long time.
Yeah.
I've developed a fear of leaving my home. I will pass out. Going to the front door. It's almost like I'm trapped in here. I can't.
Hostage.
Mm-hmm.
Now this the trauma that you suffered at a young age, this takes you into your adult age and into the marriage also, and then how that affected. I mean, because this trauma is the beginning. This is what started everything.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's very sad and unfortunate, but it's something that we've taught on the channel before, that abuse can demonize someone. It's not their fault, but it will also, the demons can transfer from the
trauma.
Yeah, from the demonized, from the abuser to the victim.
Yeah.
When they have to be cast out.
Yeah. I had ran away from home before I finished high school, and we took off to Tulsa. And while we were up there, he had gotten more addicted to drugs, and he would beat me. And one time he beat me so bad that my right eye was so swollen that when it was starting to go down, the whites of my eyes were still red. He had broken so many blood vessels. And he tried choking me, and there was choke marks on my neck. So, yeah, you'll trade one abuse for another. So when I married my husband, or ex now, he was abusive too. But I was, I was starting to not process the world right. And, you know, of course, I've got a temper. You know, everybody does. But, you know, I have a right to show it as much as he does. But his would get so out of hand that he wound up beating me. And, you know, I've been attracted to men who abuse me, who beat me, call me names. So much so that, you know, I started doing it myself. Once I stopped, you know, dating and things, I was doing it to myself. I was calling myself names. You know, you'll never be as good as so and so. You know, you're not worthy of it. So that demon does. You know, once it permeates into your soul and it gores itself in there, it's hard to pull out. And I haven't been in a relationship because I know I attract the wrong personality or entity, and I don't want to set myself up for that anymore.
One of the best ways I ever heard it put, if you are a person whose cup of, just like say your healthiness or your wholeness is half full, you're going to be drawn to people whose cup is only half full. And as your health improves, your mental health, your physical, spiritual health improves, and your self-esteem improves, then you look for someone with that same level of, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I've never reached that point. I accept myself, you know, and this is the way I am, and I let God do the rest. I work with Him on my healing. Oh my goodness, the thelema part. Oh my goodness, let me backtrack.
Okay.
Because
you're helping so many people tonight. You're doing good.
Oh, I hope so.
Because a lot of people, whether they say it or they're open about it, a lot of people have had trauma that they've kept to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you're talking about has happened to other people.
Oh yeah.
And just by you openly talking about it, they can say, yeah, I know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah.
I know her feelings. I know what she's, you know,
Yeah.
They know where you're going.
Yeah. Jerry, you don't know over the years how many of our classmates have been sexually abused.
Yes.
There are so many of us. And I personally, I've never known of a town as so infested with sick, perverted people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sorry out there, but the generation that did that to us, you know, they're more than likely dead and gone. But you know, a lot of that trickles down into the next generation, and it's a chain that keeps going and going until somebody puts a stop to it. And one child will say, "That was done to me, and I'm not going to do it," and that breaks the chain.
Right.
But too many of my friends I've found out were you know, done that too.
Yes, I know a lot too. Friends have confided about that also.
Mm-hmm. And with everybody, you know, listening to it on the news or wherever about the children being taught in school about sexuality, whether they're gay or straight or, you know, whatever label they want to fit themselves on. And they teach them what this means. And it, you know, they teach them, they give them, these children, mirrors to take home to look at themselves. Plus these very illustrated books that they are reading to these little ones and showing them the pictures. They're back in 2017, thereabout. I had ran into a video about a teacher down there in Austin or Houston, one of them, that was talking at a school board meeting, and she was saying that she wasn't going to teach that to her children. I think she was a kindergarten teacher or first grade, and that she turned in her resignation to them because she was not going to be a teacher. She said she wasn't going to be a teacher anymore if she taught that. She would be a groomer. So that's what's happening into our schools, and whatever, you know, was taboo back in our day is going to be, you know, more acceptable, and these people are going to be open prey to these perverts.
Yes.
And you know what? Oh.
It's an agenda. There's a clear agenda to sexualize the kids.
Oh yeah, that's part of being satanic.
Mm-hmm.
The people implementing all these things are satanic. They could, you know, go to church, but still, you know, wear the rainbow flag and you know, say. And this what is the most sickest thing. This is my opinion. This is my personal opinion. Is that Christians will accept a homosexual before they will accept another person of a different Christian belief. Like if you're go to one church, and you know, they'll argue night and day with another person in another church, but you become a homosexual, they'll accept them right off. And that is not right. Jesus or God did not do that. He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because of homosexuality. He you know, that's an abomination to humans, and you know, when by this, I'm harping on that because the Satanists, that is part of their plan, is to corrupt, you know, the youth, the younger they are, which I'll talk about when I'll talk about Philemon. But you know, the younger they are, the more prized they are to the devil.
The more what?
Prized.
Right.
They're you know, that's what he desires. The more innocent a person is.
It's a even bigger slap in the face to God.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the spiritual world is not very forgiving. Matter of fact, it's not forgiving at all. The only forgiveness you get is from God. When you accept Jesus Christ, that's the only out that you have from all this demonic stuff.
Who introduced you to the Thelema? Is this before?
Let me step in real fast, Sherry.
Uh-huh.
I just want our viewers to know that, and I hope, everyone was trained the same way, everyone was taught the same way, that when we were growing up, There was a Parker game called what's it called? The Ouija board.
Yeah, Ouija board.
And it was the Parker's family game board. And at that time, everybody was home doing game boards. Sorry, Uno, board games as a form of entertainment back in those days. But we were also introduced to drinking and trauma and things like that to make us open vessels for demons and for communicating and looking for other friends outside of the family. But this also is, and also being Indian, we had ceremonies and things like that. So it was, and roots and healings, and our families were healers also, but then we had the church, and then you also had society giving us Ouija boards and things like that to play with. So you had all these things. There's nothing set for you to go to because there's so many options, so many things that society is saying, play with this Ouija board, then go to church, and then go to your sweat lodge. So all these options we were given, and people would give us these Ouija boards to play with as children, not knowing that this was opening up doors, that they were creating vessels. They were making us all into vessels. And whenever we had trauma or an impact, coma, near death, anything like that, that opened those doors to the spiritual world.
I remember having a Ouija board and taking it over to a friend's house. And she was, one of the most Christian friends that I had at that time. And when it started moving, that little tool started moving, she jumped up, she grabbed it, and screamed at me to come with her. And we put it behind her house and tried to burn it. We tore it up, and she went and got lighter fluid and a lighter. It would not catch a fire. It would not burn.
Is it?
No matter.
Is it still around somewhere? Do you think? I mean, I'm sure it is.
I don't know. I don't know what she did with it.
I got also a quick story that we had that same game, and there was a whole bunch of us kids playing with it on the porch, but it wasn't moving. It, was like, what's the big deal about this? And also, our family home is over like 250 years old. It's like the oldest house in Antlers. There was a tornado to where they brought the deceased into that house, so there's energy there.
Wow.
So, and that was in 1945, and it's a big thing also. But now this board wouldn't work for all of us, all the children there, until my sister came and touched it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what my sister's name was or is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is that where it comes from?
That's where it comes from. And could you say that name?
I always wondered why y'all called her that.
And what do we call her?
You want me to say it?
Yeah.
Ouija.
Yeah, he doesn't call her that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. See, after we, like these last couple of years about the truth and finding all this information out, I don't call her that anymore. I call her by her real name now.
Yeah.
But
wow.
But that's where that name came from, because it moved. And when that happened, my mother, she come out about that time also. She seen the board moving, grabbed it from all the children, took it to our shed out back and threw it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that shed is still there. Every family who's lived there, because my other family lives behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has always said, and they've always attempted to tear that shed down and get rid of it. That shed is still there. It's under trees, under brush.
Is the board still in there?
The board is still in there.
Oh my goodness.
It was never destroyed. And my sister, she came under a spiritual attack, and we had to go and fight with her to bring her back and get her back to walking. And that's when I let her know I don't call you that name anymore. Because she's under demon attack. So
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it happened with a whole lot of people and still does, that they will have an experience like that and then say the way your friend grabbed up the board or the planchette and ran off with it. I don't know if she closed that ceremony, closed that circle, but people are opening it up and then not closing it. And it's just an open portal. It's an open channel conduit.
I was the one that brought the board over, and I know after that we didn't do anything.
So did the Lima come before was it San Francisco, you said?
Well, let's see.
after you divorced and you're going your own way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I started getting into the New Age. I practiced meditation, trances, fine work, dowsing, tarot. You name it, I did it. But I was searching because, I was torn between Christ and the devil, from an early age, and stuff that seesaw. So, in between the New Age and practicing Reiki and passing that stuff on to my daughter, witchcraft, I became Catholic. Put all that stuff behind me. And after I was raped, and I went to my priest needing help to heal, he said that the thing that I did not want to hear, he told me I needed to forgive that man. And from after that, I hardly went to mass after that. I was faithful. Before that, went twice a week to mass. Worked in the children's nursery, and my children were baptized in the church, and my daughter, was confirmed, and we were really active. And but after that happened, and being told I had to forgive him, that was like a wall to put up. So I went back to studying, different religions. And since I was really good at meditation, I took up Buddhism and started to learn the Tibetan Buddhism and Zen, and was able to, literally go into trance through meditation almost within maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And my mind was at peace. I was so calm, collected. I knew everything, and I wasn't worried. And, that was a false sense of security. And then one evening, my daughter and I were talking, and she had mentioned the name Aleister Crowley. And I said, well, you stay away from that, because he's the wickedest man on earth. And, he thinks he's the devil. He's 666. The basic thing that everybody knows him for. And he said, no. And she said, no, you just read about him. And that's where I was introduced to Aleister Crowley. I started reading his things, and I came upon his religion called the Lima. It was the answer to what I was looking for. All the New Age components that I was attacking one by one and mastering them, not mastering, but, getting my feet wet and getting more grasp of it, I'd move on. Well, the Lima incorporated all of those things. Plus, I learned how to astral project. I learned that I had a watcher that had been with me from early childhood, and I never got a confirmation, but I think it was Tony, my make-believe childhood friend, that was with me, and he said that he's older than every other being and entity that I have come in contact with, by that time. So I involved myself, and I picked up my practice again with Isis and Osiris and Horus, and I worshiped Ohuqui, which is a sun god, and I did the 4 times a day worship to the sun, and the only thing that really turned me off was the blood. I refused to do that. Not only that, I didn't have a guide, a human guide, that would have to be there with me. But so they would take me into the astral world. When I was searching through Thelema, there were 2 groups that I could have chosen from to study. One was the Golden Dawn, or the OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis. And that was the one that Aleister Crowley had revived. It came over from Germany, and he brought it to San Francisco and Pasadena. So I got in contact with the OTO there, Blazing Star Oasis, and we started communicating. And soon, we weren't communicating just through the internet, but we were contacting through the internet. And that was something, Jerry, I was wanting to talk to you more about, is that without YouTube, Facebook, and Messenger, they would not have been able to come to me, because they traveled astrally through the internet, and mainly through Messenger, to get to me. They told me they can take anybody's image, either a photo, video, and contact that person if they have Messenger. And if they're on Facebook, they can contact them astrally. So I refuse to have my picture up on the internet. As far as I know, there's 2 or 3 that's in existence. And these satanic people, they can access your spirit or affect the things around you without you even knowing them. And it's, well, anyway, the people from the Oasis would come to me and teach me the astrological realm, beyond the veil of things. They taught me sacrifices. They taught me, oh gosh, what is it called? My mind went blank. Wow. I'll think of that word later.
What does it mean?
It's almost like something plucked that what I was going to say out of my head. But they also taught me sex magic in the astral realm. And one of the first ceremonies they did with me was like, I don't know how in depth you want me to go into it, but I conceived a child through that ceremony.
Yeah, we actually let our viewers know that tonight's not about children, to
Oh, good.
have them
Yeah.
have their discretion. So let's go ahead and get into depth, because a lot of people don't know. They don't have that firsthand experience. They don't. So we have to help them grasp the best they can.
As much truth as you are comfortable sharing.
Okay. Well, I'm a very open person. I don't believe in hiding
Good.
or lying about things.
Good.
Which is kind of hard, because I want people to know the truth, but they're not willing to hear it. They don't want to.
Well, the people on this channel are very receptive to.
Oh, good. Okay. My first ceremony that I did in the astral world, they put me on a altar. It was draped in white cloth, and they laid me there, and there were witches all around in black robes, of course, and there was drumming, and the high priest, when he came to me, he was wearing a beast head. I cannot tell you if it was a lion, a bear, what kind of beast it was, but it was hideous. And we conceived a child, and while the child was growing in my stomach, even though it was in the spirit realm, I could still feel it grow, but not in the normal sense, because you can't feel your child move or anything until later on in pregnancy. But at 1 month, I was feeling that child moving, and when I would put my hand on my abdomen, it would move to my hand. So I would caress it and talk to it and love on it and things. And at the 12th week, they came to me and they told me it was time. And then I went into labor, and they delivered the child. Of course, I never saw it, but I was left with an area on my bed that would have had the placenta, the afterbirth. Plus, there was blood. So I know I gave birth, because it was, just like a natural pregnancy. And it was a boy. They wouldn't let me name it or anything like that. Silly me, I want to name all my children.
And you were physically a virgin at this time, right? Or well, right.
No, that spiritually, in the spirit realm, I was a virgin. So I gave birth as a spiritual virgin, but I wasn't in real life. This was just a few years ago that this happened, back in 2016 and 2019. It's when all this first started. So after that, I asked about the child, and I said, I asked him, about
if you'll see the baby again, or if you'll see the baby.
Yeah, if I would ever see him, and they told me yes, that I will see him. And I asked, how would I recognize him? And they told me that he would look like me. And since me and my brother look a lot alike, in my mind's eye, I pictured, okay, he's going to look like my brother. And I had asked, where was he? Something to that effect. And they said they were going to take him to New York and train him. And that I won't be able to see him until he's older, and that I will recognize him and know him. And that to me, that let me know that they were going to protect him, that he is alive. He's probably around maybe 7 right now. I don't know if it's in the spiritual realm or if he's made it to the real, what I call the real. A lot of people call it that, into the real world. I don't know, but I do know he's under care of the OTO and the Luciferians. They're moving in through the OTO, and pretty soon they won't be teaching satanic stuff. They'll be teaching straight up Luciferian doctrine. And pretty soon, I hope the Satanists wising up and know that they're not all that what they think they are, because Luciferians think they are dirt. And that's what I was taught by these people. And even though, they were with the OTO, they were Luciferian. They were moving in and taking over because, they were linked up with Freemasonry. And Freemasons are Luciferian and warlocks. What they are, it's a club of warlocks. And the only master they answer to is Lucifer. Not Satan, not Beelzebub or anybody else but Lucifer. And that once I had that child, I had 3 others. 2 girls and a boy. The boy they let me name. And it was always at the 12th week that they would come and take it. And I could feel the I don't know if they did abortions on me or what, but I could feel the baby leave. And it would go, through the canal and everything and leave. I could feel that light leave me. And I named the 2 girls and the boy. And then there was another one. Besides the astral projectors, there was a demon that they had placed to guard me. And also had a toka. I don't know if you're familiar what a toka is.
No.
The outfit? You
No,
said Topa?
no. Yeah, Topa.
Topa. Okay.
Okay. Whenever a warlock is going to do astral projection or a witch, they will create a toka. It's like a guardian to watch over their body, so nothing can come enter it or destroy it while they're gone, or come infect the silver cord. So while they're gone, that topa is there. Well, that my topa that was given to me was not made by me. It was made by a person that I had grown very fond of in the astral world, and I had fallen in love with him. And that person in the astral took him away as punishment because he didn't want me to, have a stronger feeling for the topa than I did for him. So, that the demon that was my guardian, we had sex and conceived a child. And when the astral people found out, they did an abortion on me because they didn't want it growing in me. And the demon told me, his name was Zaz. He told me that it would hurt me if it grew, even though it was in the astral realm. That demon child would hurt me and kill me. So they aborted it. And but he they left. They brought the topa back so I could do more astral work. But when you're an astral projector, you are not to, like, read something on the internet or watch something and all of a sudden lay down and try and go in trance and stuff like that. You don't do it that way, because that will get you killed. Not only physically, but it'll open you up to kill your soul, so demons can come back into your body and live in your body. It won't be you anymore because your soul is dead. It'll your body with the demon in it. So I don't recommend astral projection or attempting to it, because sometimes when you do go back into your body, you bring things. They will swish in with you, kind of like a hijack.
Right.
And,
Matter of fact, you have an interesting story about that with the driving, don't you?
oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, I had taken my son to visit my daughter for the weekend. And on the way home, it was late at night, and I was getting so sleepy. Oh my goodness. And I was, that strip between Ferris and Antlers is pretty dark. So I was, falling asleep, and I was afraid I would crash or run into a deer. So that demon that traveled with me with Topa, he said, "Let me drive. I'll keep you awake." So I said, "Okay, but I got to stay in here too." So I allowed him to come into my body along with me. I made sure I stayed and that he couldn't kick me out, because that was the agreement before he came in. He has to abide by that agreement. And so he drove me from that point, Ferris, onto where I now live, and I know what he was doing. He was having such a jolly good time, just driving, and he'd be bouncing up and down, but I could feel my tongue, or his tongue, going in and out, flicking, like a snake, and just and growling and doing all these kinds of best stuff that you would expect a demon to do. So I kind of, I don't care what other people think, but that was me that they were seeing doing that. and I know it's funny and laugh at but now, but at the time, I'm just too accepting as a person of the spiritual realm on what they do and how I react. Sometimes I will, I like disassociate. And before I went deep into Thelema, I was diagnosed with multiple personalities. And I had, I believe, 6 personalities. And through Thelema, they worked with me on that, and they closed up and took away those personalities and made me into the person I am right now. But I will disassociate sometimes, but I'm able to not leave. When you're traumatized to a certain point, you want to escape, and your body will stand still, but your mind will leave. And whatever's happening to you still happen. You'll still feel the sensation, but you can turn that off. I would often go outside and play while my body is in the house having that done to me. So that's where I was able to disassociate. And multiple personalities is something that satanic people do to others, They put them through so much trauma on purpose so that they will fracture, so that these entities can come in and take their place. And if you don't make it back to your body, you know, these things are there instead of you, and you're lost. But I was able to pull myself from playing under the tree or in the dirt back into my body. But also, things were coming in with me, and that was my multiple personalities. And they worked with me, and they regressed me, and they did what I call a healing for the mind, making me one. And they told me that that was my gift from them for helping them. There's a lot of stuff that I had agreed to help them with was accomplished, and they learned how to fine-tune things, and that was their way of thanking me, was to heal me from those things. But in order for them to leave totally, leave me alone, it was through a lot of prayer and a lot of work on my end. I was in the middle of a ritual to Isis, and I felt Horus coming up on my right-hand side. And Horus is the crowned, the blessed crown saving child of the new eon. That the new eon is what we're going through right now. And but he's evil. And I felt him creeping up. He was ready for me to accept him. But on the right-hand side or left-hand side of me was this voice that said, you know, you're supposed to be a Christian. And that voice was like a tinkling diamonds in a stream, in water. And it was an unnatural, unearthly, the most pleasant, beautiful thing I had ever heard in my life. And so I stopped. I shut down the ceremony and closed all doors and everything, and ran to Christ. And it was, I believe, you know, thinking about it since we talked, I believe it was angels that had helped me with my deliverance. Because these things were nasty when they were coming out. When one of the bad ones, when I had deliverance, and he came out, I threw up black stuff. And, you know, I usually, you know, throw up a little bit, you know, when the evil spirits came out through deliverance. This one was bad. He had black stuff. And I don't know how many demons I had to have them, you know, taken out of me through that way. But the very last one, they told me that I will have to go to a Catholic priest for him to take it out, because he is more powerful and more stubborn. And you know, I've you know, I don't know. In a way, I'm afraid to give him up, because I don't know who I'm going to be, you know, what I'm going to be left with. And I'm kind of scared of that, because I have been so comfortable with him, with being with me for so long.
It's familiar to you.
Yeah, I'm familiar. He's also my watcher, and he protects me. And the demon says,
he's guarding, like he said he was going to be guarding my house because of the monsters that are going to be coming. And Zoe, the Topa, he told me I need to pack my bags and get ready. It's almost time. So that was years ago. And now all the spiritual things are ramping up. And it's coming faster. The earth, the rotation, not the rotation, but the magnetic up and down, the north and south is starting to tilt more. And the changes in the weather are happening. And it is, controlled by man through dark and heart. But it is given to men from Satan. It's not God that controls the storms and hurricanes. God doesn't cause destruction and chaos and fear. It's the devil that does that. And the devil is having his heyday with the world. And then the core of the earth has stopped rotating. I think it stopped yesterday morning or the day before, and it's stationary. So the earth is going through some changes, and the Lord is coming really fast. And these demons and monsters that are going to be coming, we've got to be ready. We've got to, be prepared and be prayed up all the time.
Definitely agree with that.
There's one that won't leave.
Yep. There's certain points that when I before I got saved, I could feel him and being in my uterus, and when he would come alive, it was like a snake. Have you heard of the Kundalini?
Yes.
Okay. It moved like that. I had the Kundalini come up my spine, and it finally hit my third eye, what they call the third eye. And I knew that happened the moment it happened, because I was electric shooting up and down my body. My whole body was alive. And, so I knew when I opened my third eye. But the demon that is within me would snake up from my uterus to my stomach, to my behind my organs, up into my chest, my heart. And it would, there it would, grow and settle. And I would have to tell it to leave, and I would pray and push it down, tell it to leave, go away. Not those words, but, to make it stop. And so when I got saved, it's confusing me, because when I pray in the Spirit and I'm really in the presence of God, I will get this humongous warmth in my chest and in my heart, such pure love. It's crazy. But that demon is what he was doing was mimicking that. And it's akin to what the Catholics call the flaming heart of Christ. And that's God's love that they akin that to. But this demon won't leave. And they told me I have to go to a priest to have it, taken out, forced out. But I've got to make the conscious desire and want to. It's like giving up a part of myself, and
because part of you, the devil kind of thing, right?
yeah, the devil within, the devil inside.
In a certain, a certain amount of fear, but you know that you're whole and complete in Jesus, and it doesn't have any right to you in the
Right.
voices and the words that come to you that say, you're going to miss me, you need me, I've been taking care of you, I'll guard you, I'll keep the other ones off you. Those are all lies. Well, he may keep the other ones off you, but that's just because it's got dibs on you.
Yeah.
It has no right to be there. It has no love for you.
I know. It doesn't tell me it loves me anymore. It's just there.
It has no authority over you anymore. And we do have pastors that watch our show also. A lot of people believe that Christians cannot be demonized. Some people say possession, but demonized is a better word. You still belong to God, but you absolutely can be under oppression and be harassed by demons.
Definitely. Definitely. It's like, I don't know about you, but I'm a prime example. I'm a living example that a person can have a demon within them, function normally, and be a Christian.
Do you ever listen to Derek Prince? Have you ever heard him?
All the time.
Good,
all the time.
good. And another one is Russ Dizdar.
Oh my goodness, I cried when he passed away.
That was he was when I had my own deliverance, that it was that song which he played on his Shatter the Darkness. And
yeah. Well, he helped you get delivered too?
Sure did. I put them headphones on. I sent my kids away, and for those who don't know, I had a new age shop. I ain't trying to make it about me. I'll be real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But when I pulled away from that is when the real demonic attacks came.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember putting his phones, because I was always drawn to his, just like you really draw and want that close connection with God. And that can be our biggest weakness, also our greatest strength and our greatest weakness. That's how the devil plays you,
Mm-hmm.
And but anyway, that's when I was really battling with it. And so that was just something I had put those headphones on, and just I to this day, I don't know how long I was like that, but it was days of just listening to his sermons over, his teachings and to that song. And then I was like, Jesus, if you're real, if you're really, really real, help me. And the darkness was rolling back, So anyway, Rush Dizdar, for anyone listening tonight that needs help, those are two ministers that talk a lot about this subject. And anyway, back to you.
Well, yeah, to me, any other deliverance, if they're not aligned with the way Russ Dizdar teaches, they're not true deliverance. It's just demons playing with you. They will play with you.
Mm-hmm.
They will, pretend that you're possessed and do things to you, make you feel things. And these preachers will, be working with them. And you've got to be due diligence and do your research.
And there's a lot of churches or pastors that just won't touch this subject at all. They're afraid of it. And okay, that's fine. Either get the tools you need to not be afraid, or at least help them find someone who can help them, because that's how so many people are getting into the new age. And,
oh yeah. All the churches that I had gone to, including Bertram's church. I grew up in Bertram's church and going to camp and saving lots and lots of girls, there at the church camp. We were never taught to teach deliverance. I never knew what that word meant until way later in my life. So yeah, that is something that I do you remember back in the 1800s when the Presbyterians, the Methodists, and all these other denominations started to pop up?
Mhm.
Have you ever wondered why? It's because the Freemasons were infiltrating the churches or the church and splitting it up, fracturing us, and giving us different doctrines for different churches to believe. And they took away in the late 1800s. They were starting to forbid the preachers to teach, hell, hell and demons, and about 75% of Christ's ministry was delivering people from demons.
And healing.
Mm-hmm.
Deliverance and healing, over and over and over. Those two go together.
Oh yeah. So that is sad. That I did a lot of reading, and I still do a lot of reading. And there's some books. There's one called oh gosh, I always get the word mixed up with the title, but it's the Learned Elders of Zion. And it talks about, they claim that it's Jewish rabbis who wrote the book, but it wasn't. It was satanic people disguised, under pen as Jewish people. And it tells exactly what America was going to be in store for.
You're jumping down a lot of rabbit holes, aren't you?
I know. I've got a lot of stuff in this mind, but it started with my spirituality, as a young child, and living with the presence of, the spirit beings and Bigfoot and the manifestations of the orbs. That was my introductory. And God had put me on this path of knowing a lot of the spiritual stuff, not only Christianity, but also, the dark arts. I may not have experienced or done it, a lot of it, but I'm aware. And I can, tell you that symbols like McDonald's, that's a sigil. A sigil is where, like a monogram or a picture or something, is where they place a devil or a demon into that sigil, and the demons, act within that sigil. So, like Chrysler, their little emblem for Chrysler or Chevy, or the swish, especially the lightning bolt, and of course the stars. And when I learned that, I got furious because our flag has pentagrams all over it, and the seal of the town that I live in has a pentagram. And if you,
once you learn to read the language, you can't unsee it. You see it in the movies and in rituals and halftime shows, and that's where the learning of the magic has actually come in handy, not to encourage people to do that at all, but because we went through it the hard way, but we helped to recognize it, how saturated our society is with witchcraft.
Yeah. And in these video games,
Mhm.
they Josh was playing one, and I was watching him, and I was telling him, all these symbols. This means that, that means this, and you shouldn't be playing this. And he said, "Oh, I'm not playing it for that. I'm playing it for entertainment." And I told him, I said, even though you're not looking at the object, your peripheral is still absorbing it. Your eye is a window to what is deep in your soul, and your soul is absorbing it, even though you're not looking directly at it.
Right, like all the subliminal things in Disney movies, the pornography and stuff underlaid in the drawings that the mind's eye catches. But
yeah, not only that, Nickelodeon's really bad for kids. TV and all. When you don't have your TV or your computer monitor on, you may not be watching it, but they're watching you.
right, we know people that will put a piece of tape over that camera.
Oh, yeah, I've got that on right now. But I don't own a TV. I don't own a computer, laptop, or anything, because that's a magic mirror.
They are portals, and you have to be very careful, for sure.
Yeah.
Music, just anything that's eyes and ears.
Yeah, electricity.
Yeah.
The demons travel through electricity too.
Yeah.
And whenever he was having problems, I said his name. I'm sorry. Whenever he was having problems in his house, I would go over there, and I'd walk through his house, and I'd tell him, this is where it's at, or you need to fix this, or that's the opening, that's and he'd fix it, and it'd go away. And I'd take sage and pray through the rooms and stuff like that. But I don't do the smudging. It's all through the Bible. It's not in the Bible. It's not taught by God. It doesn't exist to me. And I know, Jerry, you used a lot of Indian spiritual teachings. I respect that. I'm not downgrading it or anything like that. It's just, my personal beliefs as a Christian. It's their prayer and through Christ only.
And I know we do say the smudging with sage is that does not deter unclean spirits.
Right. It just, cleanses the home.
Pure, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not in fact, in my opinion, the sage draws more spirits than it sends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But that's coming from a background in magic. The sage is just not what we would use or recommend.
Yeah. And the Choctaw powwows, the artwork of Native Americans, even over here at the clinic, the statues they have out in front of the clinic are sun worshipers. They're holding sun catchers. Dream catchers are bad. They're spider webs. They'll trap you.
You're really going to enjoy going back through old videos on our playlist. We cover so much of this. You'll enjoy it.
So am I repeating a lot of things that everybody's heard?
No. You're telling viewers a lot of things they've never heard before. As far as from your personal testimony, you've touched on things we've not talked about, but some of the things are just part of our subject matter. But you've touched in detail on things that we've not talked about. So I'm sure they're very grateful to hear it. We were able to get a hold of, we had told you there's a very strong spiritual warrior, a very godly woman named, would you say LG? Would you say LG?
Something from Texas or something. Pray we
Yes.
must is the name that's on this chat room tonight, and that's the person we called
That's
to
her. And
close this for us later, and when we're done.
yes, when we're done, she will. We've asked her if she will say a prayer with us and for you, and everybody else will join in too that wishes to, because we got to get rid of that one last, or any last remaining unclean spirits. They have no authority and no right to you. But of course, it is.
Yeah.
Has to be your will.
Yeah, it's
aligned with God's.
It's almost like I'm afraid that the person I know that I am and that other people see and know me, that I'm scared that that's the demon, and that when it leaves, I'll stop existing. That's the kind of talk that it tells me.
Right, that's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, we'll pray with you tonight, and we will continue.
There's a few things I want to kind of touch on again, and then we'll grab a couple questions if we can, Sheree.
Okay.
Now Bigfoots, they can mimic any sound, birds, chainsaws like we talked about today. Mm-hmm. And they can sound like that rooster out there in that darkness.
Oh yeah.
And when the grandfather was saying that they speak Choctaw, the demons and the Bigfoot, they can communicate through mind speak in any language. So whenever he said that they speak Choctaw, that's how he spoke. And most of our elders, the older ones, that's what they spoke, Choctaw.
Yeah.
And so it communicated that way. Now, with a younger one, it would have communicated in English or whatever the language was for the next person. But we forgot also to touch on those arcs that were behind your house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell us about that and how it came to be?
Yeah. My brother and I would, divide up the trees and make, our houses. And one day went back there and there was an arch over my designation of my front door. And, I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was cool, maybe a storm had blew the tree limbs down and it just felt that way. Which I, look back, that's kind of the innocent excuse that I told myself. Me and my brother, we made an arch for his front doorway. So, but there's other things back there that, I now know are, them, that was their home back there. But only for a little bit. They were travelers. They were really prominent in the spring, or especially the start of the spring and the start of the fall.
Right.
And instead of telling myself that, it's nothing, that, they're always there, and accepting them, that was the easy thing to do, because whenever I had left and moved away and my brother stayed there was some kind of bond, and they would come in my dream and let me know that they were there. And after my brother passed away, I don't dream of them anymore until the other night. And they were mad and they gave me nightmares, Jerry.
Why were they mad?
Because I was talking to y'all.
Yeah. we're not liked in the spiritual, the demon kind of spiritual world, I guess you'd say. We've had a lot of people tell us that demons don't like us.
No, no, no. These, you know, they were just furious. And I woke up, and Josh said that I was doing a lot of moaning and crying in my dream.
Yep. Now, also that these Bigfoots, or this one Bigfoot, picked you when you was young because of that trauma and that the scolding, the beating, and we talked about this on other streams that the Bigfoots, if it's a house with love, you know, they're always outside together, nobody's singled out. The Bigfoot will go to the next house. They'll find the house that the family's arguing, you know, beatings, trauma, yelling, things like that. That's where they want to be. They know that you're gonna need a friend.
Yeah.
And also in their language, when they say friend means like food. Now, if they say my friend, they're saying this person, this one belongs to me. You're my friend, or they'll tell the other ones, my friend. And they'll also say friend good. And that means they taste good.
Oh my goodness. Huh.
But they'll also tell you, I got you. Don't worry. No worries. No one's going to bother you out here. You're safe as a, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like a guard.
Your mind.
He was my protector because I didn't have one.
You are food in the pantry. Oh, or were.
Right. But and they would feed spiritually off of me, wouldn't they? Instead of blood wise, right?
They would do both.
Just whichever opportunity was, you know. And at this point, there's also a great restrainer here that is.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you were taking some strappings and some lashings and your legs, you know, they still bled. These creatures will still lap on those cuts, scratches, and a lot of people who are being tormented by demons will actually bloodlet. You know, they'll cut themselves.
Yeah.
They'll better. And when you do that, that feeds that demon.
Yeah.
And they'll back off because they're eating. Now the pressure's off. There's no voices. There's kind of peace again.
That's why all these young kids are doing it. They're being tormented and they're trying to break their will.
Yeah.
And it will whisper in your ear to keep you away from everybody and anything to keep you
unhealthy
to themselves. Yep.
Yeah, that's what they're doing to me now. Yeah.
And these vessels that are created is open to, and like you were saying and telling everybody, that it wasn't just one demon at the beginning. It was, you got hit with every demon that was in the neighborhood, anywhere that once they seen you open through that, they came.
Oh yeah.
So you had those voices. I don't know if you even said anything about voices in your head or talking to you like that, but
yeah, that started when I was starting with Lima. That was basically the astral projectors and the demons that was coming through that area.
Do you still hear any?
No, I don't. I was put in the mental hospital because I had gotten so bad. I had outreach to my sister, and I don't remember what I had said. I must have said something that alarmed her and told her, I need help or something. But she was there. She drove quite a ways to come get me, and put me in the mental hospital. But by the time that I went in, I smelled like sulfur. My excrements would smell like sulfur. My sweat, and my teeth started falling out and chipping real bad. My hair was graying so fast and getting real dry and thinning. And it was because they told me that they were giving me monster milk. And I think they were trying to turn me into one of them so they can inhabit me and be with me. And my son had moved out because he said he couldn't take it anymore.
This is Josh.
Yeah.
And is he back there with you now?
He came back. Yeah, he's with me now.
Okay.
But
how's he doing? How is he? Is he plagued by anything?
When he was younger, he was plagued with shadow people. They would stand over him in the corner and watch him, and if the lights were out, he would see them moving in the dark. And so now he doesn't sleep in the dark anymore, but he still has night terrors.
Right. We tell parents to quit. A lot of parents will just absolutely insist that their kids sleep in the dark because they'll say it's just not good for you. And that's what I was told growing up. It's just not good for you. You have to have this proper sleep and everything. But we say if your kid wants that light on, let them go ahead and have that light on.
Yeah. Kids know more.
Check out that closet. Give them a nightlight at least, because these things do love the darkness.
Yeah. I think kids are more in the spiritual world.
Right. And we talked earlier about autism, how they're wide open to spirit world too. Need extra protection.
Yeah.
In the dream worlds are real. They're just as real as what we are seeing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And people through what they call uniformity, it's knowing everything about you, and it's also knowing or putting a thought in your head so that they can connect with you in a dream. And people can do this. You can be in another's dream. There's actually a movie called Inception. If you ever watched that one.
I don't watch horror movies.
Okay. Well, that one also talks about multiple people in the same dream. But
kind of like Freddy.
Huh?
Kind of like Freddy.
Well, no, Freddy is the demon that's always going to be there. When people dream, he was always there because he's a dream demon.
Uh-huh.
But uniformity is combining with you or knowing so much about you that we can get in, or people can get into that same dream with you. And they can find you that way. They've already connected with you.
It's almost like a group chat, but in dream world.
Like a group chat in dream world.
Wow. Oh my.
And you actually opened up with them, so they have that connection with you. So you're gonna have, and we'll talk about that in a second, but you're gonna have to sever all those connections.
Yeah.
And not feel as though you deserve that also.
And the demon's main goal is to consume everything about you, your energy, physical, everything. That's their only goal.
Especially someone who loves God as much as you do and always have. What a jewel for them to get their hands on. Because someone who loves God and seeks after God like you have, and even if you've strayed off into other paths, you keep coming back to Jesus, you will be helping other people along the way. And if they can stop you, that's that many more souls that might not get the
Yeah.
folk that are saved.
You talked about a topa.
Uh-huh.
Now, is that like an amulet or a
It's
stone?
under a manifestation.
Yeah, it's connected to, you can make a topa
Creating.
in the spirit world, and you can give it a place to rest when you're not using it. And it's usually like a ring or a stone or something like that. And but when it's active, you know, it's not inside that stone, but when you're not needing it, it goes into that stone, so you can control it.
They're to me, that's what we would call a conduit. And if you've ever seen the movie Annabelle, the demon is not in the doll Annabelle. It's with the doll Annabelle.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody gave that doll or that demon the right to be with that doll.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
So you was carrying that, and that demon was with you, as what you were saying. And that demon took the form that it needed to. And we tell people this, that these demons will stimulate, either excite you, arouse you, or anger, or maybe, scare you, just to get that energy up. And this one took on the arousal or the sexual.
Yeah, because I would wake up to them raping me.
Yeah.
Which is an incubus in it's a succubus if it's a female, after
succubus,
for those who don't know.
And we also have to watch those movies and TV shows and theaters and places like that, like you were talking about, because if you're watching movies or a speaker, and our guests or viewers are watching tonight, don't take this part as me saying this to have anything to do with anyone else. I'm just trying to be specific here. But on the movies, they'll say to get a viewer to open up, to cast a demon out to someone else, or to get it into a stream or online like this, that they'll say things like, "Can I have your attention?" or "If you let me," or they'll say, "I just want to like share this with you," or something. But when we're watching the movies and TVs, we have to realize that, like you're saying, these are demon programs. And every ceremony that they do or ritual that they do in the movies, those are actual words being said, like you're right there with it.
Books. We do watch some movies and programs, but when we're doing it for, like, we're seriously just studying and watching for patterns and decoding and things like that. But you're absolutely right about the movies being channels. Channels and programming.
Have you ever watched a? Well, of course you have. But if you'll catch yourself when you're watching a comedy or something, you're smiling. Have you ever wondered why you're smiling when somebody on TV is smiling?
I mean, we know what all that's about now, but go ahead and expand.
Yeah, it's a transmission of trying to get you to feel something. So when you feel it, it transmits to them that are the demons that are working through the screen, so they can feed off of that energy. And if you cry or they entice you, a sad scene comes on and you cry, well, they're making you cry on purpose because they want to feed off of that emotion. And you're like a little battery to them. They'll try to trigger you into doing or feeling something that they want, so they can continue to live on.
That's exactly right. That's you almost word for word said what we had written in our notes yesterday when we were talking about, before we even knew you were going to come on, we were going to talk about that exact subject, and you put it
Oh, wow.
almost exactly like we did.
Somebody listening was meant to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And our body is made up of feelings from head to toe, and the people in the movies, they know those feelings. They know how to pull that cry out. They know how to get that laugh out. They know how to pull that energy. Just like every theater, every stadium, every movie house,
churches, even churches, they try really hard to pull emotion,
and that's pulling energy. That's feeding off that energy.
When demons are cast out in churches, unless they are, cast out of people, unless they are cast out of the churches, they still remain in the churches looking for new victims.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when you cast them out. You cast them out of existence. Don't cast them out of the body. Don't cast them out of the home, the area. You want to cast them out of existence.
Exactly. And whenever you do, if you do self-deliverance, always ask Christ to do the things that you cannot do, to finish the work that you were unable to do, and to cast, and to take them away and do what He will with them. That's always what I had to do because I can't tell Christ to, well, take this demon out of me, and, I command you to take this demon. We're not to do that to Christ. We have no business telling Christ what to do. We're to ask Him. And if it is in His will, then it will be done for us.
And His will is for you to be completely free.
Exactly. But, like Paul, I've come to accept it that, like Paul, he left that thorn in his side, whether it was ill sight or another illness, that he wasn't totally healed because Christ left that as a reminder.
Well, we're going on 2 hours and 45 minutes. We'd like to invite.
Really?
Oh, it's gone so fast.
Yeah, we've got one more person, but also I got a few more things I want to ask you. Also, whenever you feel these attacks or voices or anything like that, we share what is called the mind protection technique. And that's, you don't think about the past, the present, or the future. But if you're doing something, like if you need to go wash dishes or, things like that, program your body or tell yourself that while I'm in this state, I'm still going to go do my dishes and I'll come back. Your body has to know what it is going to do when you're not thinking and you got everything blocked out. This blocks out and protects your whole mind. Nothing can get in. Nothing can harm you at that time. But your body needs to know what to do, though.
Yeah.
Also, we have prayer warriors for you, but as we talked about, that person also has to pray for their own selves, for their own body.
Mm-hmm.
And tell yourself, do not dream. If you feel yourself going into a dream, feel yourself being pulled back out. Pull yourself back out and say, I did not intend to dream, so I'm not going to dream, because those are demons waiting for you to dream, waiting for you to open up.
Mm-hmm.
So don't dream. Get that out. Pray over yourself before you go to bed. Let Jesus know to watch over your body while you sleep.
You can play verses or music. Be careful of some of the subliminal ones. Just be careful about what you're playing.
And also lay hands on yourself, on your stomach. Lay hands on yourself. That's you got power. Power is in your whole body. Your hands help to focus that. And when the church said you have to go to a priest, you know, God gave you the authority to cast out demons, and he was saying you're supposed to be doing this.
Yeah. You know, I kind of thought about that, and then if you know, I know Christ is there to help me to pull it through, and He will finish taking it out of me. But it's almost like I'm scared to be alone after it leaves.
You won't be. The Holy Spirit will be with you.
Yeah, you're gonna be filled up.
You are not alone, and you will not be alone.
Yeah.
And hey, we connected back, so hey, you got us two right here.
You call us.
Yeah.
You call us anytime.
Okay. You might get a call middle of the night. Help,
okay.
help.
We're usually, up to tell you the truth, we don't have a sleep schedule like everybody else.
Oh, I don't either, huh?
Yeah, and see, we understand demons. I mean, we know about demons. I don't want to say the word understand because we don't go underneath them, but we know them and we know how they work. So we don't fall into the same traps everybody else does. We don't do like society
And
tells
that
us
is
to do.
3 o'clock in the morning, some of the hardest time of, you know,
Uh-huh.
that middle of the night, witching hours.
So you give us a call anytime you need to.
Yes,
We're
if
here.
we have signal and it rings, we will answer it for
Yeah.
you.
We'll get up. We'll probably already be up doing something.
Okay. Yeah, because what does the Bible say about sleeping at night? Yeah, I can't remember. When I look it up, remember, I'll let you know. I'll take care of something. Yeah, before I was expecting you to call, I had gotten a notification on my phone from an evening Bible verse. And can I read it to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. It just I was so, this is a blessing, and I want to share it with everybody listening. It's Luke 10:16. He that heareth you heareth me, and he that despiseth you despiseth me, and he that despiseth me despiseth him that sent me. And the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Lord, even the very devils were subdued to us through thy name. And he said unto them, I saw Satan as it had been lightning fall down from heaven. And behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all manner power of the enemy, and no thing shall hurt you. Nevertheless, in this joys, in these joys, not that the serpents are under your feet or under your power, but rejoice because your names are written in heaven.
Beautiful passage.
Yeah.
Will you give it was, you said Luke 5:13?
No, Luke 10.
10?
16.
10, how did I get that? 10:16?
10:16 through 18.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
And I read the Geneva Bible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, I have to translate it.
That's a good one.
That's why I had to read it so slow.
Yeah, that's a good one, though.
Yeah. So,
Well,
I'd share that awesomeness that happened before, we started talking. So I know that the Lord has been with us, and that He has blessed what everybody is hearing.
Yes.
And it is possible to make it through, no matter what you do in life. Be a murderer, you can sacrifice people. You can, be the most horriblest person on earth. But Christ will forgive you if you come to Him and ask for forgiveness and you repent. You have got to repent. and show, ask God's mercy while you repent, and leave that sin behind. Christ loves everybody, no matter what they do. We have got to be the one to come to Him. He won't come to us. Well, I mean, He will.
We know what you mean.
Yeah, well, we tell people God is not the one who turned the back.
Right.
Yeah.
He's knocking.
Right there. It's always been here. Right here. Hey, look. Hey. Over here.
I sent a helicopter and 3 boats.
No, I'll wait for the next one.
We all know that one.
You're
They're
like-
gonna come down the road.
So what we're going to do now, we want to try a 3-way because I didn't get my computer up. So we got 2 phones and we got you on one. So we're going to try a 3-way because we want our other prayer warrior to come in.
Okay.
But are you watching this on the stream?
No, I'm not.
Ooh.
Because if we lose you, please watch the stream because this is for you.
Yes, come back for the prayer, okay? But we think we can do it. We think we can do it.
I think we can do it. I hope we do it.
And
Good energy.
and if not, the point is the prayer, and as long as you hear it, and everyone that wishes to, please also join in. LG, we are pray we must. We're about to call you also.
Can you hear us, Sheree?
I'm here.
Hello. And now I'm trying to merge the calls. Let's see what happens. Okay, do we have everybody on the line?
Yeah.
Cherie, meet LG.
Hi, Sheree. Oh, hi. How are you? Fine. Thank you. Can you hear me, Jerry and Ella? Can you hear me?
I'm smiling and laughing because I'm thinking to myself, if these people really knew who each other were, and
Love each other.
I'm sorry, I missed that one.
I said, if people or if you two really knew who each other were, you would be smiling as much as I am.
Oh no!
He's saying he loves y'all both,
Yes.
and you would love each other.
We don't know each other. Maybe one day we will. Oh yeah. But I want to start. I have the Lord has spoken to me since I was a little girl. I grew up in a very abusive home. My mom was abused as a child, and of course, kept me. And as far as I can remember, I would hear him and comfort me and hold me. And people ask me, well, how do you know this God? He's just good. I mean, and Jesus to me as a child was a baby. So to me, it was only God. I knew nothing about the Holy Spirit. So I've gone through a lot of stuff, just like TheBFEJerryWilliams and many more. And God knows where we are and where we came from and where we're going. But I want you to remember that once you're attacked, there is a reason. God wants for you. Everything would have been written. Anyway, I just want to point out a few things. When you pray, always when the first one that speaks to you, and this is what he taught me a long time ago. He said, when you pray, the first one that speaks to you is not me. Wait upon the Lord, because he will be just like in the Garden of Eden. He will be there trying to get us in, and it'll sound scriptural. It will. You will think it's him talking to you, but you just wait, and then talk to him again. Yeah.
the other thing about the dreams, I completely agree with Jerry. Unless you're called out to be a prophet, that you will be having dreams, stay away from them. Because when we dream, we have no control, really. You may think you have control over a dream, but you do not. Mm-hmm. And that is the time that he can come in and just sweep all your body. Mm-hmm. Okay, so always, and the way you do that is when you speak to Father, you speak to the Father, and then you tell him that you're getting ready to close your gates, the eye gate, the ear gate, and I was asking him to put me in a cocoon near him, in the breast, wherever he wants to put me. And don't let anything penetrate that cocoon that is with you. Because we have no protection when we're sleeping except him. And he is the only one that protects us. And then the other one is always a discerning spirit. I always ask, and this is led by the Holy Spirit. It's not me. Nothing was me. Everything was guided through the Spirit. I always ask, show me who is speaking to me. I don't care if it's one of my best friends. I don't care who it is, my child, whoever it is. Show me who is really speaking to me. So I will not be deceived. And then remember the word. When Adam and Eve fell, God did promise that he was going to redeem them and their righteous seed. You have to remember, righteous seed. After 5,500 years, he will redeem them. So when he sent the word is Yeshua. They call him Jesus. And the word came, but you can call upon that word. I don't care what the situation is. You call upon that word to help you. Mm-hmm. Don't, what's wrong with us? We're running here and there and everywhere to help us. To get help, we have the master of the help. Mm-hmm. We have the King of glory. And we never go to him. We go to our best friend. We go here. We go to this church, that church, this pastor, this deliverer, this, which is fine. But remember, the main source, the lightning, is him, Jesus. And when you said those scriptures that you said, the Lord gave me 2 scriptures before I prayed. He gave me Philippians, and I'm going to read out of the King James because that's what I was taught. I read the scriptures now. The Bible, the scriptures, that's the one I read now. But anyway, in Philippians, he said, therefore God also has highly exalted him and given him the name which is above every name. That is the name of Jesus. His name is Yeshua. Every knee shall bow, and those in heaven, and those on earth, and those under earth into heaven. You have to remember that the power is all in Yeshua. There's where the power is. But what raised Jesus from the dead? God Almighty. And then you have to remember and never forget that when he rose him from the dead, and God God gave his son all the power, the name above all names, the only way to him, he gave it to us too. Right. Jesus gave us the power. When we were prodigal sons coming back to the Father, the robe of righteousness, whose righteousness? His righteousness. The ring, what ring? The ring of power and authority. And then the shoes, that once we get back home, we will go after all the ones that are lost. And let's not forget the fatted calf. So you see, that same power, and remember, Jesus said, greater exploits you will do in my name. Right, exactly. So you have the power. But you know what? I remember when someone came to me to try to take the demon out of me, and what happened to that man. And when that man ran out of that house, I heard a voice saying, next time you send a demon, you send someone to take me out, send someone that can. Yeah. So you know why? I did. His name was Jesus. So you know, Sherry, I am going to pray. I am going to pray that the windows of heaven open up on your lap of increased wisdom and knowledge in who he is and what he can do and what you can do in his name. No fear. No fear. That's the first thing they put in us as children is fear. So and just remember all the things that we went through as children, as painful as it is, there's a reason. Because we're going to be warriors soon, because he's here already. And then with a discerning spirit, so you will not be deceived. Remember, wait upon the Lord, and he will test every spirit that comes to you. Whatever form it comes in, he will tell you for sure what it is. So you won't be confused. And then I pray also, not only the wisdom of discerning, I pray for a sound mind. Because I used to, sometimes when I get away, I get busy and I get away. Even now, he never stops coming after you. He never stops coming after you. Never, 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 never. But what you can do, as soon as your mind starts to do that, rebuke him. In the name of Jesus, rebuke him. It is written, and it is finished. And not only is it written, it is finished. Right. You got to go. And don't spend too much time with him. Don't treat him too much. Just rebuke him in the name of Jesus. Get out. That's it. That's all you have to tell him. And sometimes I rebuke him like 50 times a day. And he'll attack your mind. He'll attack your body. He'll attack your children. He'll attack everything that you love. But let him. The faith greater is he that is in me than he is in the world. Right. I mean, and then the other scripture he gave was Luke 10, verse 19. And I think you read that. And I was just so shocked that that's the scripture you read. Well, I think it said Luke 10, 6-18. When in the King James, it was 10:19. And it said, behold, I give you power to trample on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. And nothing shall by any means hurt you. Stand on that scripture. Stand on that scripture and thank him. Thank him. And then in the morning, when you get up, first thing, I thank him for the sacrifice of his body and his blood that he sacrificed for us in the only begotten Son, Yeshua. I thank him. That's the first thing that said my feet, because I tell you Shemana, which is in Hebrew, it's a prayer to God. So that's the first thing I say when I'm walking on the ground. Shema Israel. So you can do it even when you want, and you're thinking. But you can do a good night's sleep a day of the living. Then every day, you ask me to guide you for the day. So I am going to pray for a sound mind. I am going to pray for knowledge, increase wisdom, and discernment. A discernment. That's what discernment. A discerning spirit. But you don't even have to think about it, Sherry. You don't even have to think about it. It's going to be like breathing. It's going to be like breathing. Yeah. And then also, throughout the day, do you have children? Do you have children? Yes. I have a boy and a girl. Yeah. Okay. Pray for them. Then let your will be done in your lives according to your will and your destiny, Father God, that you have for them, because your will and your destiny is perfect. It's precision. There's no mistakes in what he has for us. And it's all good. He knows what we've gone under. He knows what we've been through. He knows where we came from. He knows where we're at. But he knows where we're going. Because he loves you. Otherwise, you would not be here. You would not be in this Jerry and everyone else. You wouldn't be here. Yeah. It was funny. and be here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you something. When the sons of Jacob fought in the battles against the giants and the coming back, okay? Right. Do you know that Abraham and Isaac had prayed for that covenant? And even through the battle, they had to keep praying. They couldn't just pray. Oh, and here's a big area. Through the battle, they kept on praying. And as long as they kept on praying, they kept winning. Right. Right. For everybody, all the brothers and sisters, right. And don't give up. Do not give up. And do not get discouraged. If you get discouraged, say, Papa, help me. Yeah. And I'm telling you, help me. I'm not in your realm. I'm not in your realm. But help me come back. You can tell that I'm not in his realm. It's like, he starts to feed my head with a whole bunch of stuff. That's not. I said, it's not on my father to get up. It's not on my father to get up. And then it's going to be alone for a few days and then he'll come back. So, and eventually God helped with fasting. But I don't know what kind of deliverance you had, but whenever you wanted to go through words, I have gone through the words of deliverance because I was like, full of demons. And what people don't understand is that even a demon of as simple as I think back thoughts of someone or judgmental. That's a demon. Anything that's not of God is a demon. There's a hierarchy of demons, there's a little bitty demons, the idiot demons, and then the sexual demons is the highest high. So whenever you need anything that I can help you with, I'm always willing. I'm always willing to fast. I will fast with you, and then we'll break those demon holes that you have. The stronghold, the strong man. More than likely, it's a sexual demon. They're the hardest. And also, I want you to pray that he will open every chamber of your heart. When I was saying that everybody told me, Linda, no, he never called me by my name. And he just said, I need every window and door open in your body and every chamber of your heart. So they hide. And sometimes they hide within the rules that we have. The rules that we have. Hide beneath the rules. So you ask him to open up the rules and see them from the inside out like they were there. Because they will hide.
LG, we lost her, but I think we're getting her. Okay, we're getting her back
We
online
lost
again.
LG.
I don't know what happened.
No, you're both back on. We're
This
good.
is a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been real hard to hear you, Linda, but hopefully she has.
And also, they go out, you can pick up a whole bunch of them that will attach themselves to you. Yeah. And maybe you lose track of those. Anger spirits, jealousy spirits, curse spirits.
Excuse me, just
bodies. They're looking for bodies. Yeah. So, but if there's any way, if there's still, I think you were saying that there's still one that you still have a problem with, and that you were afraid that when he left, you would be alone. Well, it's not that I would be alone. I want to be alone, but I'm sure that the person I am, as I know who I am, is the demon, and not. Oh no, that's a lie from the pits of hell. Let me tell you, the barometer is gone. It's not him. Don't even say that. You know what you say? God help me. Yeah. God help the mind is tormenting me or bothering me or whatever word you want to use. Because no,
Okay.
You're,
You're not.
you're,
That's the way I'm starting. I would just say you're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. Up to now, I'm still telling you you're a liar. Right. If he doesn't, liar. That's not my thoughts. That's not his thoughts. Because you're not the battle. He's never. If you think it is, and he's giving you alone, then you gotta. Right.
we hope that you're able to pick up everything LG is saying. The connection's really not good.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Oh, can you hear me? I am so sorry. Can you hear me?
We can hear most of what you're saying. Most importantly is that Cherie can hear you.
Yeah, I can understand.
Good.
I can understand. Okay. My doctor from Pakistan. I can. Let me tell you. I mean, like I said, I needed help. I do every everything that's keeping you from releasing everything inside you will be diminished, and everything it will be shown to you, and then every secret place, every thought that may be hindering the complete deliverance, that will come to you in the name of Yeshua, in the name of Jesus. That it will come to you, that it will come to you, and you will be aware of where you're at. And he has to go. He has to go because, but there's some, just like Jesus said, is when they ask him, well, how come you could not deliver them? Deliver him? Well, because some they fasted and prayer. Right. Because of the stronghold, the strong man. And we run, I'm sure, TheBFEJerryWilliams will also fasten this, and pray against that, but we need a little more, just a little more detail on that one, and like maybe how long you think he's been there, and I think that I would want to know about him before we tackle him. Mm-hmm. I had one very strong one, yes. A very strong one, too. But he's gone. Yeah.
Good. Well, we thank you.
Did you push something?
No, I didn't. Can you hear us?
And he wants you to know for the destiny and the plan and the will that he has for your life. Because there's no one that can claim your life except him. No one that can claim your life except him. So I ask for comfort and the sleep and the security that you have within the walls of your home, that nothing will touch you because you've been bought with a price, and he's an error, or he has no right to your body. He did not create you. He did not deliver you, nor does he keep you. That is God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, our keeper. And he has no right to you. One God, one. We are so one in the name of Jesus. But if there's any way that I can help you in fasting and praying for this, or we can talk over the phone, or through the endurance once we know a little bit more. Yeah. We're against. Yeah. Because there are some that are stronger and more determined, and those are the ones that have been with us the longest. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They would be the ones that Jesus said only come out by fasting and prayer.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. I have one. Give her my information, and so she can make contact with me.
We sure will.
This is
I
what.
love you. I love you. Let me tell you. I am a nurse. And God put me as a nurse. I have a long story. I'm going to make it real short. The first time that I saw someone dying, she grasped my hand and she asked me to pray for her. I was so scared. I was really young, 19 years old, and I took my hand away from her. And I ran out the room, and Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we've lost.
Sherry?
Yeah, that came through clear.
Yeah, there we go. Whatever you had said, something didn't want me to hear that one.
Yep.
But did you hear what I've been teaching to pray? Yeah, I've been teaching me to pray. I'm pretty sure when you say you don't get me to pray for her, you don't. I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. But anyway, the lady that led me into prayer, led me to be born again. She never let up. She never let me go. She kept telling me, you're on your way to hell, baby. You're on your way to hell. You want to come with me to a church? I said, no. No, I don't. And she never let me go until almost 1 year. I said, yes. Yeah. It's always good to pray with God because it helps us. It helps us strengthen because one will set 1,000 in flight, two, 10,000 in flight. And the number keeps growing. So you see, that's why he says for us to get together and to pray and fast and everything for all the needs that we have. Yeah. And sometimes it's just 5-minute prayer. It doesn't have to be, hour long or, I mean, you may need a little more with that one, the last one that has to come out. But we can fast and pray and then ask God for wisdom on how to get him out. Yeah. But he will come out.
Yes.
And yes, you can still be in church and have demons, yes. Oh, yeah. You can have, judgmental demon. You can have a Jezebel demon. You can have all time. They're all over the church. Yeah. And witches that can go in there and they can touch something, things hurting too. Okay. But anyway, I bless you in the name of Yeshua. I bless you and I plead the blood of the Lamb over you. I plead the blood over you and the fruit of your body, everyone grafted in, and your family, your extended family, and all your friends, and everyone that is important to you. I include them in that. In all my prayers, I always include that because the people mean a lot to us, and we cannot leave them behind. Right. But I bless you. I bless you with wisdom and knowledge. I bless you with a desire to be victorious and to be a warrior. That is why you're here, because he is preparing you for battle. He is preparing all of us for battle. And every one of us will have a different position. Some will be in the front, the warriors, the big warriors will be in the front, and then the middle, and then the ones that are not as strong and will be in the back. But we'll all be in the battle. Thank you for saying that. Yes, that's why. Yeah, and there's a reason why we met up like this, and Sherry, there's a reason God is preparing his people for his battle, and he is training us, and he is training us. And you're the first person here that I have had to plead the blood of Christ over me. I'm always doing that for other people, but nobody has bled the blood over me, and thank you. Thank you.
Amen.
These are my prayer list, and I'm going to change it every morning. And that includes your babies, your family, everyone grafted in, by marriage, adoption, whatever it is. It's important to them. Bring them in, Father God. Bring them in. But oh my goodness, yes, it is a battle, and he is bringing his army together. And you know what? We're not afraid. We're not going to be afraid no more. We're going to be walking. Everyone's going to be different. Of course, like Jerry and Charles and I'm the only one that I know, but they are going to be the mighty warriors in the front. I'll push them out first. We'll probably be in the middle. You know what? We couldn't have known deceit, lie, or betrayal in our hearts. Amen. To our Father. It's going to be true to our Father. And we're not going to bend the knee to the devil. Amen. We're not going to bend the knee because we know what it is to be in hell. We have a glimpse of what it is to be in hell because of the things that we have gone through. Yeah. The things that we have gone through and that we have overcome by the Lamb. Yeah. So, yes, he's raising it up. I hope God has met you. And of course, we'll be talking of course.
Well, we will give her your information, and the connection's just really bad. Hopefully it'll be better next time. And LG, or Pray We Must, also is a guest that we would love to have on sometime. We've talked about that before. And she will be on also to tell her story.
Oh, good. Yes. It's yeah, that's very terrifying too. But
well, now you've already been on, so now you don't have to be afraid.
And we also have a pastor that's chiming in. He's listening also to the story, and I know he's got your back too.
Yes, we more than one pastor. We have several pastors that listen.
We asked some people to chime in tonight on this.
To come in and pray with. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Oh, what a blessing this is.
So, is there any final words that either of you would like to say? We've been at it almost 3 hours.
Okay.
Or over 3 hours.
Wow, it doesn't seem like it.
It never does.
And we thank everyone that's listening.
I pray for everybody for this job that you number one. Because if we don't have salvation, we have nothing. Nothing. So salvation, then I was praying for protection. I pray for protection to keep our mind set on him and only him. But I don't know if there's anything you have to say, but I pray for all my brothers and sisters all over the world, no matter where they're at, where they're been, where they're at, or where they're going. Because I know where they're going in the name of Jesus will be best for them. Amen.
We cover you in the same prayers.
You're getting all your armor polished.
And you deserve to be healthy.
Keep that armor on and polished.
Yeah,
That's good.
Good.
We're going to go ahead and close up. Cherie and Linda, LG, we appreciate both of y'all, sharing and helping with this and being open and just sharing everything. It was wonderful.
Cherie will give LG your information, your contact information, and then we'll also stay in contact with you too.
Okay. Oh, I'm so good. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
The viewers don't know, but while we were talking to Cherie earlier today, LG's name just kept coming to mind over and over and over. And so now you see why we called her after listening to her. It's just another divine intervention and another God thing.
Yes. Well, I told y'all that from the beginning when I first started listening to y'all, remember?
Yes. We do. And you're really, truly a blessing to us, and we appreciate you.
One by one will gather here.
That's right. And a lot of people were gathered tonight.
That's right.
Right.
And you got other people watching. They're all gathered too. They know.
Amen. That's right.
Cherie, thank you for being so open about what you've been through and so honest about it. You helped a whole lot of people tonight, I guarantee you. And
Well, I hope so.
They're not alone either.
Mm-mm.
And all right, well, ladies, we'll let y'all go and
Okay.
We will stay in contact though.
yeah. And
Okay. Thank you. God bless all of us.
that's right. Y'all have a good evening.
Love y'all both.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So we had a great night tonight. Cherie is actually, if you weren't here in the beginning, she is a long-time friend. We were in the same areas. This is the first time we actually had a person from this same area. A lot of information given, the testimony for the people to hear and to understand that those darkest times, those darkest, nights, the stormiest storm, the things that you think that you're not going to get through, you will get through. Keep hope. Keep hope. Don't let hope go. Use it. Hang on to it. It will get you through. Also in the Bigfoot documentary, that's the last words that we end up or in the documentary is to never lose hope. So we're going to go ahead and close up tonight. We will be back on in 2 nights. Tracker B we'll be able to finally connect with Tracker B, and they will give us the updates in those areas and everything going on. And we'll check in with a couple more trackers next time. And then Tuesday or Thursday, we have another guest coming on. This is talk. And what we want to explain is when people call these hybrids and these creatures dogmen, we don't want to call them dogmen. We want to call them walking wolves, because that's what they are. They're walking wolves. And dog is just too nice of a word to put on a creature, a vicious creature like that. So call them dogmen, you're just making it sound like it's a child's play thing, but these are walking wolves that eat people. They consume everything as demons do. And as our guest tonight explained, demons are real. These dream worlds are real. What? Real? Oh, we're going to do comments real fast, and then we'll close with another prayer.
Okay.
And then we will see y'all again in 2 days.
Okay.
Oh,
I
different.
think I can do you can figure it.
I think that only goes back as far
Oh
as
yeah,
you
it
go
doesn't
back.
show.
As far as you go back.
Okay.
So
I go all the way back. Hold on. JR, all the people we greeted from the beginning. It's not showing me everything, but I can see up to this point, starting with pray we must. Amen. So true. Not ever, Cherie. Dee says she had a make-believe friend also. And my brother had one for many years. When he was little, he would always call it, we thought he was saying secret. Jerry figured out that it was telling my brother his name was Secret, which makes perfect sense. Swishy Ishy, hello, welcome, says, could shadow people be remote viewers? Yes, sometimes, but they can also be demons and Bigfoot and other mutations. Dee says, that's what I'm afraid of, them hearing this. Yeah, we bind the eyes and ears of the enemy. Tennessee says, it's like the cartoon movie Monsters, Inc. Absolutely.
Sure
the
is.
harvesting of adrenochrome, and they put it right out in our faces, and people just don't even. And I thought that was the cutest movie, back then when I first saw it. And then when you look back with a different set of filters on, it's insane. JR asking about the microphone. Yeah, it's a problem with Linda's phone tonight. Earlier,
it's a spiritual
LG,
war too. Every time she started talking spiritual and things, it cut up.
Right, when we were talking to her before the broadcast, if we were talking about anything else, but as soon as we get to the topic of something that was important and demonic, it would crackle and cut out. So y'all see firsthand.
And on here on this one, because that one's a little, you may have to go a little
Okay.
further.
Charles says, the warrior in me is crying for you, Cherie. Charles is a tough man and a sincere man. Cherie, we love you, and most of all, Jesus loves you. He will never leave you, Cherie. That's absolutely correct. LG says, amen. So true. Not okay. To that part. I think I'm caught up to there now.
Okay.
D says, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Definitely helped me tonight. Good, D. Very good. And we also want to talk with you too. D will also be a guest on our show. Man, we have just amazing people coming up on the shows and so much to learn and talk about.
So, Cherie, if you did not get to hear this song, we're going to play this now again. We'll probably have a couple of pictures up or something, but you're not alone. And you know me for, forever. I'm here. TheBFEJerryWilliams, LG, you've got people on this stream who heard your story. And
they'll be praying for you.
Yeah, and come back to this channel. Watch, because there's other people that you may have the answer for them, and we can all help each other here. So we're going to I think we got one or two more.
No, we're good. The name of the song is Casting Crowns, Set Me Free.
And D actually had one more comment.
We read it.
Oh.
Thank y'all. Definitely helped me tonight.
Okay. So we're going to finish this up and have a word.
Okay.
And
we'll play the song going out. Thank you, Lord. What a blessing to be here tonight. Thank you for putting the right people here to pray with this precious woman. And we thank you for a complete healing and deliverance. And we will remain in contact with her, Lord, and give us discernment in how to proceed from here. In the name of Jesus, we pray.
All right, Cherie, we will see you. We will stay in contact. Everyone else, we'll see you in 2 nights. Walking Wolves, good night.
Yes, we like the Walking Wolves, Tennessee. We heard that when you said that last night. We said it's perfect.
See each other in 2 nights.
Before the dark ones came, stole my mind, wrapped my soul in chains. Now I live among the dead, fighting voices in my head, hoping someone hears me crying in the night, carries me away. Set me free. Another day finds me crying in the rain, all alone with my demons. I am. Who is this man that comes my way? The dark ones shrink, they scream his name. Is this the one they say will set the captive free? Jesus rescue me, set me free. Do you wanna be free?